People in life are more fulfilled when they achieve a family unit and when they have children, women in particular, especially aspiring to children, then you are going to end up with a bunch of people who are unhappy because your job cannot replace the feeling of having a family.
And there is a false dichotomy. Who said anything about replacing?
Your job cannot replace the feeling of having a family.
Maybe some women want both, like Candace Owens. Maybe some want neither. Maybe fulfillment isn't a zero-sum game where you have to choose between career or family. And Zena won't let her off the hook.
So what you're saying is we need to look at every individual case and see what is going to fulfill you or what is going to, essentially predict your happiness more. Because if we look at, for example, the Nordic countries.
And here comes the kill shot. Zena's about to introduce the actual data. So not feelings, not opinions, not what conservative men prefer, actual data about women's happiness.
These are countries, I'm talking about like Sweden, Denmark, right? These countries tend to be I think in the past 14 years, they've been ranked as the highest in happiness and marital satisfaction from women, right?
She goes on to point out that these same Nordic countries like Sweden and Denmark are also the most sexually liberal, with comprehensive sex education and progressive attitudes towards women's sexuality. And as Zena notes, they have lower STD rates too as a direct result of the comprehensive sex education that Candace would presumably oppose. So let's get this straight. The countries where women have the most sexual freedom are also where women report being happiest. The places that most fully embrace the sexual revolution have the most satisfied women. That's awkward for Candace's thesis, because if the sexual revolution devalued women and made them infinitely less happy,
everybody's sleeping with everybody.
Shouldn't we see the opposite? Shouldn't sexually conservative countries have the happiest women? And here's what Zena doesn't even mention, but we know from decades of research. Countries with greater gender equality tend to have higher female life expectancy, higher levels of female education, and higher general life satisfaction. But here's the beautiful part. Zena's not even arguing that sexual freedom causes happiness. She's just pointing out that Candace's claim that it causes misery is demonstrably false. The data doesn't just fail to support Candace, it actively contradicts her.
So I think you might be referring to this sort of mass-produced study that was a part of like a behavioral science study, which said that women were the happiest women in the world were women that were actually unmarried and had careers.
Wait, what? Zena just gave specific data about Nordic countries' marital satisfaction and happiness rates.
They've been ranked as the highest in happiness and marital satisfaction from women, right?
Where did Candace get unmarried women with careers from?
The happiest women in the world were women that were actually unmarried and had careers.
She's literally responding to data that wasn't presented.
No, okay, well
there
was
reported happiness.
Clear, simple correction. Different studies, different data, different everything.
No, okay, well
there was reported happiness.
Okay, sure, I'm talking about the same thing. It was reported happiness, but it could be there's tons of studies. The point being is that in 2023, there was this massive scandal where they recognize that a lot of these studies that were being produced, behavioral science, was proven to be a complete fraud.
This is absolutely stunning. She just admitted that she might be talking about different studies. It could be different.
It could be there's tons of studies.
But then immediately dismisses Zena's data as fraudulent anyway. She hasn't even confirmed what research they're discussing, and yet she's already declaring it fake.
A lot of these studies that were being produced, behavioral science, was proven to be a complete fraud.
This reveals everything about Candace's approach to evidence. She has a preloaded script ready to dismiss any study that contradicts her worldview. Here, happiness research. Well, deploy the behavioral science fraud talking point.
Behavioral science was proven to be a complete fraud.
It doesn't matter if it's the right study, the right country, or even the right decade.
There's tons of studies.
If it challenges her thesis, it must be fake.
Complete fraud.
She's not evaluating evidence, she's playing defense. The moment data threatens her position, she reaches for the nearest dismissal. Accuracy be damned.
I'm talking about the same thing. It was reported happiness.
Seriously. I absolutely insist that we really digest what's happening here, because this should be career-ending. Should. This moment utterly exposes Candace. You see, this isn't just a mistake, it's a complete unmasking. She's admitting, I don't need to know what evidence you're presenting, I already know it's fake because it disagrees with me.
Was proven to be a complete fraud.
Candace has no idea what study Zena is citing.
I'm talking about the same thing. It was reported happiness.
Immediately declares that it's fraudulent.
Behavioral science was proven to be a complete fraud.
And confidently references a completely different study.
In 2023, there was this massive scandal.
Francesca Gino's data manipulation in 4 studies. But Gino's fraud has absolutely nothing to do with Nordic happiness data. Nothing. In fact, get this. The studies in question are not about reported happiness.
I'm talking about the same thing. It was reported happiness.
And the Nordic study that Zena's making reference to isn't a behavioral study.
Behavioral science was proven to be a complete fraud.
Zena's talking about 14 years of UN happiness reports, national statistics, population level data. Candace is talking about one professor who faked some lab experiments. And for crying out loud, note how smoothly, how confidently she does it. That confidence is the tell. This is practiced deception.
Was proven to be a complete fraud.
She's showing us that her facts don't care about your feelings baseline operates, would you know, on pure feeling. The feeling that any contradictory evidence must be wrong.
I'm talking about the same thing. It was reported happiness.
The fact that she can so smoothly dismiss research that she can't even identify tells us that she does this constantly. How many debates has she won by confidently declaring evidence fraudulent without ever examining it? How many audiences has she convinced with the same sleight of hand? What Zena has exposed here is that Candace starts with her conclusions, dismissing any evidence that doesn't fit. That is not reasoning. It is exactly the kind of emotional, faith-based thinking that she claims her opposition engages in.